A deeply concerning survey from the nonprofit safehome.org has found that well over half of Americans who are LGBTQ have avoided a public space due to fear of violence. For the survey, safehome.org asked 1,000 LGBTQ Americans about how they feel about their safety and the recent wave of anti-gay state laws. Here's how they answered. From safehome.org, 61% of queer people in our survey say they have avoided a public place or event due to fears of discrimination or violence. 61% is an incredibly alarming number of people who don't feel safe in public. And I have some more stats, but I just have to break there. I have to say, as a queer person myself, the last 2 years, I have felt unsafe in public, even living in Chicago. Last year was the first time I'd ever gone to a Pride event where I actually felt anxious about my safety. And Cenk, the rise of the right-wing narratives about LGBTQ people and the violence against us, apparently it has a huge portion of the community feeling the same way.
Yeah, we actually have been talking about this throughout the show today, and we've now done a couple of different stories. The weatherman who retired, the Starbucks workers, so many different situations where it's not just about the LGBTQ situation, although they are the primary victims. It's right-wing vigilante, in my opinion, brown shirts, who are going around threatening violence against anyone they don't agree with. Oh, you're doing the weather and you mentioned climate change. That's it, I'm threatening to kill you. You're a politician I don't agree with. I'm threatening to kill you. I'm gonna chant about how I'm gonna hang you as I'm breaking down the door of Congress. You're someone who's in the LGBTQ community. Oh, that's it, I'm gonna call you a pedophile, which is, by the way, just think about how disgusting that is, that they smear the entire community. And because of that, I'm gonna threaten violence against you. So as awful as this study is, Jesus, 61% afraid to go to public events. That is a giant number. Unfortunately, it's not surprising. It's only surprising to people who the right wing have not attacked. So tell me that you're not out there fighting for right things, fighting for truth and reality without telling me if you've never gotten a threat from a right winger. If you're out in the open, like meaning on air or one of these communities. If you're a person who's just at home and you're a dentist, yeah, they're not, I hope they're not attacking you, but they are now. They're going after teachers and scientists and doctors and nurses. So who knows when they come after literally almost everyone that isn't exactly them.
I think this is horrifying and it's scary, and it's also, unfortunately, absolutely nothing new. I mean, conservative extremists have been using this kind of like shifting moral panic to mobilize their voting base for decades. I mean, since as far back as I can remember, I mean, I'm 30, but as far back as I know, like, you know, there's McCarthyism and then blues music and jazz music and like a switchblade panic and satanic panic and Dungeons and Dragons and the gay plague of, you know, HIV/AIDS. They're so used to having this specific target to attack because they don't actually have ideas that appeal to anyone. And so, you know, as we know, they scare their base goes out and votes. But the way that we're seeing it happen now feels so much more aggressive and so much more dangerous. Like, I don't think, you know, people who played Dungeons and Dragons in the 70s, who were at one point like the focus of these attacks, I don't think they felt unsafe to go outside. And so watching sort of the swell of this and the intensity of it and these, you know, literal terrorist attacks that we have seen happen in this country, this wave of domestic terrorism against vulnerable populations. It's not new, but it's horrific, and the logic doesn't make any sense. If the, you know, I've talked about this before, but it's so strange to me that they're claiming that like, oh, people choose to become trans so that they can become child groomers. Why would you choose to become transgender in a transphobic society, in an increasingly transphobic society, to prey on children? It doesn't make at its most basic sense. If you think about it for more than 10 seconds and turn off the anger part of your brain just to figure out what you're actually believing in, it doesn't make any sense. And I think maybe it's controversial to say, but like there are longstanding conservative institutions that have really big issues with child grooming, and you never see them attack those institutions because they don't care about the children. They don't genuinely believe this. The most extreme, most violent believe this, but the average everyday, person who puts this rhetoric out, I don't think they actually believe it because it just doesn't make any sense. And at the same time, people are being attacked, people are being harmed, and it's truly a crisis, and it's a horrific crisis.
Yeah.
Right. And
go ahead, Ray.
Right, just to the point you were making, Cenk, I've noticed that I've gotten death threats since I started covering the news. The last year, I've noticed significantly more death threats that I've been receiving, significantly more targeted death threats I've been receiving. People who mistakenly believe that I'm trans, they'll send me pictures of trans women who have been murdered. They'll send me pictures of trans women who committed suicide. The last year, I've gotten countless messages from conservative men telling me that they're going to rape me straight. The last year and a half has been a shocking increase in these disgusting messages, which is why it really doesn't surprise me to see the responding to the way that people responded from my community to the survey. Which one of the things that the survey asked them was with places, public places and events in particular, that where they felt the fear for discrimination, and this is what they had to say. They said, of course, naturally, number one was religious institutions with 44%. I'm thankful to see 39% say that they don't feel fear. They've never avoided a place, but bars or nightclubs, even pride events, like I mentioned earlier, public transportation, sporting events, even going to school is something that members of the community are afraid to do based on their identity. But the survey also asked them what kind of laws make them feel most unsafe. This is how they responded to that. They said number one is health and safety laws that allow discrimination in healthcare. Number two was laws that target LGBTQ youth, and as well as criminal justice laws and limits on non-discrimination. And it's not surprising to see that because according to the Human Rights Campaign, this year state legislative sessions set a horrific record for the most anti-LGBTQ laws passed, with over 525 bills introduced and 77 of them being passed as of earlier this month. And when you look at the numbers over time, you can just really grasp how horrific the problem has gotten. Look at the blue indicator there. From 2015 to 2023, that is accounting for all anti-LGBTQ laws. Look at the stark difference between the years there, even from last year to this year. Yeah. According to data from the Human Rights Campaign and the American Civil Liberties Union, 1,029 anti-LGBTQ bills have been introduced. And we, on the good side of things, we know what types of laws and what types of protections make the queer community feel most safe. They answered that too, the number one being non-discrimination laws, number two being health and safety laws, and then youth laws. But Cenk, this is really, you can just see the amount that they've increased their attacks against the LGBTQ community, that they are right now their primary target.
Yeah, so look, if you're looking at percentages from organized groups or different groups of people that are groomers and pedophiles, unfortunately, and this sucks, but Boy Scouts are number two and Catholic Church is number one. Now, how often have you seen the right wing go, the goddamn Boy Scouts, the goddamn Catholic Church, we gotta stop those groomers? Almost never, right? Okay, do you wanna know what the overwhelming majority of pedophiles are, gay or straight? You all know the answer, right? Straight. And so did they pass over 525 laws against straight people? No, they passed over 525 laws against the LGBTQ community. What does that tell you? They don't care about the kids at all. What's actually absolutely disgusting is that they think, that's a great political tool we'll use. We'll use the kids who were really, really hurt by pedophiles as a way to hate gay people. That'll be a great trick that we do. They're disgusting. And should people be actually afraid? Yes, several gay nightclubs have been shot up, let alone the nonstop, over-the-top threats. So look, I don't want to make you afraid, and I hate that this exists, but as a society, we have to do something about, honestly, basically just vigilante terrorists on the right wing who threaten to kill people non-stop. It is not, both sides do not do it. There's tons of problems with the left. There's tons of problems with the Democratic Party. We talk about it on the show all the time. But they don't go around going, hey, oh, we don't agree with you politically. Hey, should we murder them? Yeah, let's not go talk about murdering them. Oh, you're straight, we hate you. Oh, you're Christian, we hate you. That doesn't happen. It just doesn't. But on the right wing, they think, some portion of them think, that's perfectly normal. This kind of hatred and violence is awesome. And I'm not just saying that, it's not hyperbole. 28% of Republicans said that it's time for violence. 28%. That's tens of millions of people going, yeah, let's hurt the other side. Let's physically hurt the other side. Right wing, man, the ones that haven't lost their mind and they exist, that other portion on the right wing, you have to reclaim your party. Otherwise, you're aiding and abetting these monsters. Thanks for watching the Young Turks, really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.